What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,400 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this is possible without you guys, so I thank you so very much. And because you guys love on me so much, I get to talk to phenomenal, multi-dimensional people such as the wonderful Terence of Love Beyond Walls. Hey, Terence. Terence?
Hey, Ash, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for having time for us. I know that you're a busy, busy man. You guys are, moving and shaking and making things happen during COVID-19. So I definitely appreciate your efforts and your time that you have with us today. So
yeah, great to be here.
Yes, no, but yeah. So Terence, when did things begin for Love Beyond Walls?
Yeah, so I initially launched Love Beyond Walls in December of 2013. There was a few months that year that I had been forming a relationship with a guy who was living behind a building in the heart of the city of Atlanta. And every single week I would go and have breakfast with him. And he was living behind this abandoned building with like a lot of trash. And over the course of 3 months, I got to know him. And one day I asked him if I could help him get into like a shelter or transitional housing. Yeah. And he responded, and for the first time, he opened up and shared a story with me. He told me that he had lost his wife and his child in a car accident years prior. He was working a corporate job. He became severely depressed, and he ended up losing his job and ended up behind the building. And he says to me, he says, man, there's a shelter not too far from here. Probably 400 or 500 guys in there. Sometimes they sleep in chairs, and the smell is so thick, you could taste it. It's only one urinal. He says it's more comfortable behind this building than it is in there. And then he challenges me. He says, I bet you won't go and stay in the shelter. Mm-hmm. And I remember that conversation, rode home. I was sitting around the table with my wife and kids, and we were eating dinner, and she asked me what's going on because I had this look on my face. And I told her, I was like, Kurt just challenged me to live on the streets. Do you think you would allow me to make myself homeless for a little while to go through those experiences? And she was like, what? And long story short, in December 2013, her and my family were dropping me off underneath a bridge where I would stay for a little over a month on the streets, going through all of the experiences and documented it with my cell phone. And it actually started underneath the bridge in the heart of the city of Atlanta.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about what you experienced that month that you were there under a bridge.
Yeah, I mean, it was life changing for me because, firstly it was around 17 degrees in December, and it was raining, so you can imagine the wind chill. Yeah. And when I got underneath the bridge, I had this fear at first, but then I had overcome this fear because, the community, it embraced me and accepted me. I made it clear as to what I was doing, and they rallied together and got me a tent and a blanket. And I remember my toes that got really cold because of the rain. And one of my friends named Tony would go in his tent and give me his last donated pair of socks. And then the reality settled in, sleeping on jagged rocks and literally having to stand around a campfire and not throw firewood in it, but throw donated clothes because there was no firewood. Having to walk tons and tons of miles just to, shower or charge a phone or try to figure out where the next meal was coming from. I remember one morning that we had got up and I was talking to my friend Mark, and I asked him, I said, man, where do we get something to eat? And he was like, you got to pray for it. I remember times, walking down the street and having young business professionals literally walk across the street trying to avoid me, my friends. We were put out of shelters. I stood on corners and begged for, 427 people for $1 to help my friend get his medication because he was out there and he needed the medication to survive. And had all types of slurs and cans thrown at us and people locking their doors and rolling up the window. And it just really gave me a reality of the other side of the experience. Many people have these false perceptions that all people experiencing homelessness have a mental health issue or an addiction. Well, that's not always the case. There are many other avenues into the plight, and I think because people don't take time to know people's stories and get a chance to see them for who they are, they miss out on wonderful opportunities to know awesome people.
So, I'll ask, how did your vision for the organization change from having it to be an idea to actually living the life of someone that's without a home?
Yeah, I think so. I think the vision had always been there to engage in community and organize people around different causes. I think it really became more focused when I asked myself personally some hard questions. I'll never forget, I was reading this book by Dave Gibbons, and there was this line in this chapter in this book that said, sometimes God will use your greatest pain to lead you to your destiny. And that phrase just stuck out to me, and I started asking myself some hard questions like, what does pain mean personally in my life? And I had this whiteboard, and I just started putting out these one-word phrases like outcast or, misunderstood or overlooked or excluded. All these, phrases that spoke to my inner pain. And I saw a common thread of homelessness. Now, granted, I wasn't homeless at that moment when I wrote these on the board, but there was this common thread of homelessness because you can be around the crowd but not feel at home, right? You can be among people but not really connect with them. You can even have family members that you don't feel at home with. And so it's all, there was this thing that spoke to me, and I go, well, maybe that's it. But I think sometimes people don't understand that sometimes when you lean into your pain, it actually produces a gift. And it becomes a guide to lead you to the thing that you're supposed to be doing in your life. You don't have to fabricate or try to copy anybody else's story and into your own. And I think that's what sparked for me. And I just leaned in, and it became the one issue, poverty and homelessness, that I wanted to focus on.
Yeah. So what is Love Beyond Walls? What are the offerings today for the public?
You said what now?
I said, what are the offerings today? Like, how are you guys reaching out today to help the public with homelessness?
For sure. Yeah, so currently we launched a campaign. Obviously, we're in a pandemic, and we launched a campaign to resource individuals experiencing homelessness with access to soap and water. When the pandemic was first declared over 7 weeks ago, we kept hearing all of these, directives, wash your hands to protect yourself, make sure your hands are sanitized. While in the midst of having all of these places shut down, like libraries and schools and public restaurants and public spaces. And, because our organization had been proximate to people living on the streets, we kept hearing these fears. People would say, man, I'm afraid that I'll contract COVID-19 because I don't have anywhere to wash my hands. That's kind of when our team had the idea to start assembling portable hand washing stations and planting them around the city of Atlanta. And one of my friends, Trey, reached out to me, and he donated the first 15. And since then, we've spread to 19 cities. We've partnered with 24 organizations, and we just received a boost from AbbVie, which is going to enable us to plan 1,000 more hand washing stations around the United States of America. Wow. And so we'll probably be in 40 cities. And basically, it's much bigger than COVID-19.
Yeah.
It's a sanitation issue, right? That people who are living on the streets need access to this basic human right of soap and water, whether we're in a pandemic or not. We believe that sanitation is a human right, and that's the current campaign that we're focused on. And over the next couple of months, we'll continue to install as many stations as possible to help save lives on the front lines.
Absolutely. Now, Terrence, if people want to reach out and help with your efforts in any way, what's the best way to get in contact with you guys?
Yeah, for sure. If people want to contribute to the campaign, they can go to lovebeyondwalls.org and click the link Love Sinks In, or click Give. They can give to the campaign. We're going to continue to install as many stations as our resources will allow. Mm-hmm. And if people want to reach out, if they're local to Atlanta, they can hit us up on the contact form, and they can also follow us on social media, and that's at Love Beyond Walls, and that's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right. Sounds like a plan, Terrence. Thank you so much for joining us today. Much more success to you and your team, holding down the A-Town. I'm from the A. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm from the A too, though.
Yeah. So see. So we got to definitely, we got to keep the vision alive, and keep people informed, but also keep putting good energy out there. That's what makes a difference. That's what makes a huge difference. So definitely.
For sure.
Thank you for that. We appreciate you for that. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life, so much better. Until next time, you guys.